gone. What's the cat's name?
Paz.
Paz. Here you go, Paz. I'm going to be sitting right here, Paz, so don't get upset, alright? Take my glasses off because, I look old enough as it is these days. Are you older than me?
How old are you?
49.
Fucking up 49. Come on, man. I'm only 45.
You're 45?
Yeah, 46 in November.
I'm 50 in January.
How old's a dark night?
We are recording, and I'm going to make sure he knows that I've recorded this. He's 56. He's turning 50. He's 57 now. Sorry, turning 57.
Not bad, dark night. Not bad considering you died at 55.
Mate, he looks bloody good for himself, doesn't he?
He does.
All right, everyone. Hi, Lee.
Ed, how are you, buddy?
I'm very, very well. Very happy to be down in
St Kilda West. Always sunny in St Kilda West, mate.
It's beautiful weather. The camera over there can actually see the weather. So it's nice and sunny outside.
Sunny out in St Kilda West. Well, let's not forget our special guest.
Yeah, we've got
Paz the cat.
Hey Paz. There's Paz behind me.
Hey Paz.
And we can just see in the corner of our of the lens there, the couple of the bikes that Lee's got.
It's Alison's Liv and my Giant above. Yep.
So Lee Turner is a very common, very well-known cyclist around Melbourne. One of the ringleaders these days, I would say, probably in the Saturday morning hell ride.
Oh, Ed, don't say that. It's no one's ride. I'm just
it's
one
no
of
one's ride.
I'm just one of the participants who happens to be the loudest. That's all. That's all. Nothing. No one's ride, and no one owns it.
And we need to make sure that people understand that no one does own the hell ride. It's just a ride.
It's just
the ride.
It's just a ride like any other ride, like the North Road ride, or the Peak Cycles ride, or the Bike Gallery ride, or the Total Rush ride, or whatever ride there is around Melbourne. Barclay Street, it's just
completely decentralised ride. It's completely decentralised.
Yeah, it's just one of many bunch rides in Melbourne.
And that's the thing. It goes from the same location, does the same route every time, comes back home, and everyone has a good time. It actually has one of the lowest injury rates on it of all the bike rides as well. Of all the
because all the good riders do it. That's why.
I can't disagree with you. I can't disagree. So tell me, Lee, why do you ride a bike?
Good question, Ed. I've been riding for probably, 26 years. For me personally, it's basically fun, obviously, fitness, and the social interaction. My whole social network and friends and everything is based around cycling. I met my partner, Alison, fiance, soon to be wife, through cycling. My friendship group is all cycling, other than obviously my original school friends and that, who I'm still friends with, but and footy friends. But cycling is just a very big part of my life.
And you're very well known down at St Kilda for coming along and arriving either just at the start or towards the end of A grade sometimes, and jumping on the microphone and doing the last.
I like to do a bit of commentary. So I do like the commentary. It's a bit of fun. People say I should do it properly, but for me, it's just fun. I wouldn't give up my day job, that's for sure. And you've got to be so politically correct nowadays. So sometimes I can be a little bit Sam Newman-y, or just not intentionally, but we're so PC now, it's hard to...
I think that's part of the charm of you doing that particular calling, though, because everyone knows that when Lee comes, it's going to get very colourful and very... very
I don't swear, but like everything, you got your detractors, but I don't care. But for me, it's just helping out, trying to add a bit of atmosphere and excitement to the racing. It's just a bit of fun. No one's killed or harmed over the microphone, so it's just purely just doing my bit to help out, try and build up the excitement, a bit of fun. But I also do other stuff, like I'm going to Noosa in a few weeks to do the commentary or emceeing at the Noosa Classic, which I did last year, which is a great event. I can't wait to get up to Noosa to do that. And then later on in the year, I'm doing the Ride Barrow, the Barrow Classic, which I haven't done, but it's massive. They get 4,000 people there, so I'm really looking forward to going to do that as well. So I do some proper stuff as well. That's
a lot of racing, though. Is there any other? I mean, and we've talked about the big bunch rides. Is there any other sort of riding that you do as well? I mean, I'm looking around now and I can see a couple of photos there of you riding just up in the...
Oh, that's Alpe d'Huez. That's Alpe d'Huez, where Al and I went on holidays and we did Alpe d'Huez and Mont Ventoux and all those climbs. We'll be back there again next year. No, look, I did North Road ride this morning. I'll do North Road tomorrow. Friday I do social ride with my mates. Saturday I always do the hell ride and keep going further on down to like this. I think this Saturday we're going to Flinders after the hell ride, Arthur's Seat in Flinders, doing the Bicycle Network's training ride for around the Bay a day, the 300k loop. So Alice and I are taking a group down to Flinders for a training ride, so that should be fun.
That's a big ride. I've done the 250 6 times. Sorry, the 210 6 times, and I swear I'd never go any.
Look, you are right. I did the 300 last year, and I didn't respect it. I thought that would be easy because I was doing 200 Saturdays, and I thought I'd be able to do it. And I did the hell ride the day before as normal, and I struggled on the day. I really suffered. So this year I'm going to be better prepared. I won't.
Yeah, I used to.
Are you going to do it this year, Ed? You're going to do it around the Bay?
No, I can't afford it, mate. I can't afford. The cost on around the Bay is quite expensive, considering I've done around the Bay maybe 4 more times without paying for it on my own.
But it's also they raise money. You know, they raise
absolutely,
money.
Yeah, they raise money. I mean, you can raise money for Smith's family through fundraising for it, and I have to point out that Bicycle Network use this as a major fundraiser for themselves so that they can actually do advocacy. And we need to make sure that's clear.
Oh, yeah,
that Bicycle Network are running this event so that they can do more work for us in the field, which is important because we need it.
Definitely. And look, I like, as you know, I'm associated with the Bicycle Network. Alison's a 3 Peaks team or Peaks Challenge team captain. We've both done it 8 times in a row. We'll be ride leaders again next year for the 10-hour pace, and we love Bicycle Networks. But what I like most about them is the advocacy. Like, you've got, like, obviously we're both members of Cycling Australia, which is good for racing and that, but I like Bicycle Network because they're the ones, you know, like Cycle Alliance, they're good for the advocacy, and that we need a voice.
Yeah. So let's move away from the bunch riding and all that sort of thing. We now see you on Instagram. I'll link the Instagram account right here over Lee's head. So Lee's head's going to disappear for a moment. And we see you on your Instagram account these days on your scooter, on your skateboard.
On the skateboard, yeah. Alice and I've got an electric skateboard, and I love it so much. I bought the new model when it came out, and I gave out my old one.
Is it boosted or what?
You know what time it is now?
What time is it, Lee?
Oh, Evolve, the skateboard model.
Yeah, out of Queensland. The new one's fantastic. Like with the all-terrain big street wheels, I can get over 30, 35 kilometres between a charge, and it goes 42 k's an hour maximum speed.
Whoa.
The other day, Al and I rode down to Sandringham together along the bike path. It was a nice day. It was beautiful. And then Summer, my neighbour, who's got one, we after work on a nice night where it's warm, we'll just cruise down towards Sandringham, Brighton, along the foreshore. It's like Venice Beach. It's fantastic. We love it. It's so good.
It is important to understand that Lee's an international rider. He doesn't just ride here in Melbourne, so he does see what it's like over in other countries and other places. And I mean, that's really, really important for everyone to understand. You know that
it was funny. Let me say this: when Alice and I were overseas last time, we saw 2 people just at dusk night riding along with no lights, no helmet on the footpath. And I said to Al, imagine if that was in Melbourne, they'd be fined for no helmet, fined for riding on the footpath, fined for no helmet. I said they'd be in jail. Here it's just everyone's doing it, and it's free and easy. It's like we can't be trusted to do it here.
So as an international rider, you get to see, you when you go overseas, I'm assuming you ride more than you'll drive and sort of thing.
Yeah. So, like when we go overseas, it's for obviously a holiday. We ride nearly every day because you can see so much more when you ride. You know, it's and it's some of the places like Mallorca or Lake Como. It's just some of the best riding I've ever done in my life. It's amazing. So yeah, it's beautiful. Like I still, when I'm overseas, wear a helmet when I'm riding, but it's just more like when you finish at the end of the day. You have a shower, you go out for dinner, you just ride down to the shops, then I won't put a helmet on. But if I'm riding up Alpe d'Huez or something like that, yeah, I'll put a helmet on.
The basic rule I always say to people is if you're clipped in, wear a helmet.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And it's at the end of the day, it's so many people over there don't wear a helmet, but the drivers are a lot better over there. Not like aggressive bogans like we have here. And I'm a driver myself. I paid 2 lots of rego for a Vespa and for a car. and Alison's got a car. So we're drivers. We're not anti-drivers or hate drivers by any stretch of imagination. But every day I ride, every morning there is an incident where you get tooted, abused, something thrown at you, and so much of it's born out of drivers not knowing the road rules. Nearly every day you get abused and tooted, ride single file. And you'll catch up and go, I'm allowed to ride two abreast. And I'll go, no, you're not. You're meant to ride single file. I'm just flabbergasted how many drivers don't know that the rule is you can ride two abreast. It's amazing. I just think Vic Roads or police or whoever it is, TAC, should do a education campaign showing two riders riding side by side saying this is actually legal. And riders are subconscious, because a lot of the time we'll be riding like along down in Mount Mornington, that we'll be riding two abreast. You can hear the car. We don't have to go in front of each other and single out to let them go past, but we do it because we're considerate.
Yeah, that's it.
But you'll always get someone come hooning up, usually a Commodore or a van or a wagon, come hooning up and tooting. You're like, really?
The other side of it is it's not just cyclists that are dying too, it's pedestrians and houses. We've had more cars driven into houses over the last 12 months. I mean, what is it with the lack of control that we have with the...
It's probably people doing this. Like I was on the Vespa today, and like coming up to your lane split, which we're allowed to do. And I'm not joking. Every single car, they're at the lights. They're like, because I can see in. They're this. Or I saw someone had an iPad. It's just like it's just.
Now I've got to do something right now. I've got to grab your phone for a second. Now, Alison, even though you're not here, you are here in heart. Okay. This is Lee's screensaver. Hopefully
it's gone.
Can zoom in there. There you go. Perfect. Look at that. So, Alison, you are with us in spirit. Okay.
Thanks, darling.
So. As outside of cycling, you've got a career, you've got a life that you do. Tell us about that.
I work for an Australian company called Planex. I've been there for 10 and a half years. Planex is an Australian manufacturer that does storage, like filing cabinets, tambour door cabinets, lockers, big range of lockers, mainly lockers and sort of sliding door cabinets is our biggest product lines. I go and see basically the architects and designers and get them to specify our stuff in commercial workplace projects. Yeah. So yeah, it's great company.
So you would consider yourself to be a professional person in that environment. So you know you're not riding a bike because you don't have a job or anything like that. You're a professional person.
We've got two cars in the driveway in the Vespa. No. For me, it's social. I love it's like for me going to a pub after work and catching up with your mates, but instead it's in the morning. I go up to like North Road today, I carry on like a flog, muck around, have a laugh, ride 45 Ks and then have breakfast with my mates, or they'll have coffee over sparkling water, and then come home and start my day. Like it's like going to the pub. You get up, you go and meet your mates, you have a laugh, a bit of banter, bit of physical activity, and then home early. And
now I need to point this out, but before we go even talking about things like Strava, I have to point out Lee doesn't drink coffee.
No. Or alcohol.
Or alcohol. Alcohol I'm fine with, mate. I don't drink much alcohol either. In fact, the dark night's been away. I haven't touched a drop. So.
But my vice is chocolate. I love chocolate biscuits, ice cream cakes, and lollies.
I'm not huge on. So the question we put to the pundits out there watching this is, can we call him a cyclist? He doesn't even drink coffee. I mean, he wouldn't even know what a Magic is, guys. I mean,
I know Orlando Magic in the NBA.
There you go. He's also very health conscious.
Vegetarian. Been vegetarian for 20 plus years. Yes.
Yep. And he looks after himself. And before we turned the cameras on, I turned around and asked a question that I've asked a few other people in the past. If you went out in the morning from North Road Ride and you suddenly realised you left your Garmin at home, you can't upload it to Strava, did it happen?
It didn't happen, but what I would do is I got two backups. I'd run Strava on my phone. If that didn't work, I'd run Strava on my Apple Watch. So I've got I'm backed up, Ed. I'm backed up.
Strava is an important feature for yourself. And
even though I don't take any notice of it, people know more about my Strava than I do. People say you were so slow up that hill, or you did this or did that, and I'm like, how do you even know? Like, I just.
Look, I'll tell you, Australian Cycle Alliance, we love Strava for one other reason, and that is that a lot of commuters now are putting their Strava rides up, not as public Strava rides, but as to assist us with heat maps.
Mm-hmm.
So Strava is an important thing, and to say that we do want the commuters out there to actually use Strava. And as Lee said, you can use it on your watch, on your phone, or you can have a Garmin or Magellan or something on your bike. And the thing is, to record your ride doesn't have to be for the social aspect of it, but it can actually help us with advocacy on the heat maps, looking at where people regularly go. So,
well, Alison rides the blue bike because the blue bike's just across the road on the beach. So she walks across the road, gets the blue bike and rides to work. It costs the blue. It's really good. Like, it's $60 a year I think it's $60 a year membership. And then the first 45 minutes of each trip are free.
Yeah.
So it takes her half an hour, 20 minutes to go into the city to work. And so basically it's $60 a year and it's free. There's a dock out the front of where she works. There's a dock across the road. So she just rides to work, drops it, hello mate, rides to work, and it costs her $60 a year.
well, mate, you can't knock that, can you?
No, of course not.
I do love the blue bikes as well, and big support.
I use them too.
Bikes. Yeah.
I've used them when I go and, like, if we're going out, like somewhere, and she's in the city, and like we're going to have a nice night out. Sometimes, like in summer more, I'll blue bike in.
What else can you tell us about yourself, Lee? We know. I mean, look, if you're a Melbourne heavy-duty cyclist, you're in the racing community, or you're a regular down St Kilda way, you'll know who Lee is. St Kilda club member, was a St Kilda president for 4 years, was it?
3 years.
3 years.
Yep,
3 years. Got to say, I still love my club. Love St Kilda Cycling Club.
Love St Kilda.
When it comes to cycling, we get to go out and not only rub shoulders with the likes of Cadell Evans and Caleb Ewan and the others, we actually get to ride with them, talk to them, and treat them as part of the community of riding by just going out and being on the road with them. So we actually get to be with our sports heroes. We actually get to spend time with our sports heroes. If you're a Collingwood member, or
you can't go and have a kick with.
You can't go and have a kick with
Scott Pendlebury.
No,
I can't go and have a kick with Flying Ryan from the West Coast Eagles, who I love. But what I love about, one of the things I love about cycling is, you can be riding in a bunch, and I can be riding next to one of my young mates who's 17, 18, and then I can roll up to the next line. Someone like yourself could be there, or the Dark Knight who's 78 years. Is he 78 years old, the Dark Knight?
56.
He looks 78, Dark Knight. Just joking, Dark Knight. But you can be riding next to a 17-year-old, and then you can ride next to a 60-year-old, and everyone on the bike's equal. Everyone's equal. You can ride next to a sales guy like me, or you can ride next to a CEO. Everyone's equal. That's what I love about cycling.
And that's one of the biggest things about cycling, is it is a social sport and social activity. I mean, it's not just a transport, it's not just to get you around, it's not just to keep you fit, it's not just to go shopping. It really is something that is part of a lifestyle. And you said yourself, it's part of your lifestyle.
And let's not forget about dressing up. Let's not forget about dressing up.
Actually, I do want to. Now, right here over my head, you'll be looking right now, hopefully, at Lee's closet, because I'm going to quickly actually get a look into Lee's closet.
All right, that's going to be a quick peek, and it's not all there, Ed. A lot of it's in storage underneath, but it's ridiculous. As you'll see, it's all jammed in so tight you can't see anything in there, because I've got over 250 kits. So. But that's what's great about cycling. I dress up like a flog every day. One day I dress up as Cipollini, next day I dress up as Jan Ulrich, then I dress up as Joseba Balocchi or Floyd Landers, or...
You're one of the personalities, mate.
Pantani. I just dress up like all these yesterday heroes, and I'm just a middle-aged flog who's hopeless, who just plays dress-ups every day.
And quite often we'll see you down at St Kilda racing, and we'll even tease you about, get off the back, you lazy bugger.
That's because I'm hopeless, Ed. I can't if I could get off the back, I would. I'm just hopeless. I'm just Yeah, look, I'm not really I race because obviously I'm in a team stitch and dart, and I do some crit races, but I'm just not a racer like my mate Tommy. He's a racer. He's born and bred. He's a racer. I'm just a flog who dresses up, who tries to race, who's not very good at it. I've won one race in my life, and that's because Tommy basically had to brake on the line so I could go past him after helping me the whole race. Like, it's just...
That's Tommy Leaper you're talking about?
No, Tommy Nankervis.
Oh, Nankervis, yeah.
I like Tommy Leaper too, but Tommy Nankervis. But it's just, for me, it's just dressing up, having fun and keeping fit. Like, I want to be fit. I don't want to be... I want to look after myself and be lean and fit, so I, live a long, healthy life. But it's primarily just for fun.
Well, Lee, tell us, looking straight down the barrel of that camera right there, not that one, not that one, looking straight down the barrel, is there any message you'd like to send out to everyone right now? What would you like everyone to know right now about next time you're on the road?
Ed, patience is a virtue. Patience, whether you're in the bike, and I'm guilty of it myself. I'm no angel, but you got to think patience. In the car, if I see a cyclist, I'll hold up. I'm just so patient for cyclists because I always put myself in the other person's shoes. So you just got to be patient. I've got to learn just to bite my tongue a bit because I've got a short fuse. When I've been run off the road multiple times, broken bones and stuff, so your fuse is quite short. And as soon as you have someone swipe you or abuse you, you're quick to fire back. I just got to try and be a bit calmer and relax, but just patience is a virtue. That's what I would say. And my motto in life, Ed, is, it's not mine, but I've heard it and I live by it, is growing old is compulsory, growing up is optional. So just, you got to stay young, keep moving, keep exercising, keep having fun, because you've only got one life, and make the most of it.
You don't want to end up with
I haven't got 9 lives like old mate here. He got 9 lives. How many you used? He's not too sure. I haven't got, no, it's tough, man.
He said 3, I think.
3. So I haven't got 9 like my old mate, little Paz here. So you got to.
You don't want to end up when you're getting just about 50, mate, and end up with this sort of shit all over you either, mate.
That's years of doping. Ed's been doping. Look at him, he's doping. Yeah. He's lit. Ed's lit. You cut him, it bleeds green.
So, Lee, thank you so much for today.
Absolute pleasure. Keep up the good work of Cycling Alliance. That's why I'm Cycle Alliance. That's why I'm so proud to be an ambassador and support Ed and the great work he does in the community. When there's an issue or there's a problem or there's an unfortunate incident, Ed and his team are always one of the first there to offer their assistance. So, you're a great asset to the cycling community, mate.
Thank you very much, Lee.
You're welcome.
Huge recommendation from you. Thank you.
No.
Thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you very much for participating. You did beat me to it. Lee is an ambassador for the Australian Cycle Alliance. He's an ambassador for Bicycle Network. He works hard in cycling, both on the bike and when he's off it. So we really do appreciate your support you give us when we're out on the bike, mate.
No worries. It's Lee Hollywood Turner.
Yep,
and Ed signing off.
Right now, you're going to see Lee's Instagram about there, and Lee's Twitter account about there, and I'm even going to put Lee's LinkedIn about here somewhere, so you'll be able to track him down and follow him. I definitely want to follow his Instagram account. It shows you the most amazing different kits you can possibly imagine out there.
Definitely. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, mate. Okay, Lee.
Absolute pleasure, mate.
No worries, mate. We'll catch you next time. Cheers, buddy. See you on the road.